Strawberry, we are selling strawberries.
Strawberries?
Yes.
How much?
10 kilo for 110. The strawberries. Nice. We make medicine out of strawberries.
Yeah.
And pineapple too. Come to Papua New Guinea with fresh pineapple.
Oh, good. Look.
Yeah. Like Murray.
Yeah, photo over here. Pound for pound, the hardest fighting fish on the planet.
Good morning, Tango November, Tango 5565.
Oh, I hear that.
Man, the power of these things.
Cracking Lake Murray double up. Couple of good bangers out of the snags. Master's got his on the Faithful Sticks Customs, and this is on the Duo Feng Bait 140. Absolutely bashed us up in the timber, mate. Whew.
2 fish on the same snag.
Mate, good solid fish, 2 fish off the same snag. Mate, it was hectic. Oh man, these things can fight.
Tango shed 130 again.
Shed 130, baby. What, buddy? Had some bloody. Look at that there, the teeth on him. Look at it. Hey? Oh, the ribs are bruised off that. There you are.
Do you want to go anywhere with this bugger? Geez, that hit like a freight train.
It doesn't seem like much here, like grassy banks, but there's so much structure underneath us. Like we're just constantly banging this timber, little twigs and stuff. There's we call this the graveyard. Caught a couple of good bass off here now, so we're just in the red zone right now. On the sounder here, a lot of timber coming right this way. Oh, there it is. Nah. Yep. He's got him.
Good fish.
He's got him. Good fish. Good fish. Good fish. Good fish. Oh yeah. Look at the structure on that screen.
Dropped it.
That's what we come here for, baby. Oh yeah.
He's a good fish. He's a good fish. He's a good fish. Yeah.
Good fish. Oh man. Oh yes, Jesus. That was good.
Once again, Sticks Customs doing the job over in PNG. My boy Simon can sure make a lure. Only about a month ago, we got to make them a bit more.
Good feed. Good food. Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We got leader. There he is. Good fish, though. Good fish. Good fish. Right on that. Man, these things. I've got some pulling power. Oh, mate. Oh, I tell you what. That's a bruiser, that is. Oh, mate, Xeric 10-gauge shad 130 in the snags. Snags, hop, boom out of the snag trolling. Absolutely. Look at the head on those brutes. Mate, I'm a bit out of whack, but I'll tell you what, mate. These things test out your fitness. That's a bruiser, that is. Oh. Nothing better than nice old ice cold SP to celebrate a big fish. 87 centimetres of Lake Murray black bass. Holy shit, that thing pulled, mate. I don't think I've ever felt anything pull that hard in my life. Xeric 10-gauge shad. 130s, the new ones. They only just come out. Got a few there in the kit. These things, look at this, look at the battle scars on them. This has caught dozens now, hooked up, lost them, snagged, whatever. They're just, yeah, big lures built for these big brutes, fully wired through now. And mate, anyway, a couple more SPs and we'll get back into it, eh? And some lunchtime and we'll get back into it. And as we said before, just absolute brutality. We're stuck to it. He's a nice solid fish too. That's it. Every time, hit the snag. Pretty big fish. Nice. Out here, the mission at sea, jackets on, and they're keeping us dry as a bone, mate. They are absolutely awesome. I mean, it's not freezing cold, but it's just good to have these on for a bit of comfort. Bloody good jackets. Another solid fish on the 120 tango shad. Now we're just holding pretty tight to the structure here, and look at the sort of stuff here we're fishing. This is all these old layovers are just falling over in the river, and we're just bumping over these snags. Lures are down in the zone, and whack. Oh, I should tell by the footies, these things give you some curry. He's a nice mid 70s black bass. These are the staple fish. There's monsters in here, but these can just pull some string. You can just catch these all day.
Holy hell, this thing played up. And wouldn't read about it, he bit me on the balls.
On the way in.
Oh man. Spot a crazy accident. We got him in the boat. He kicked around in the land net and grabbed me pants on the way down. Oh mate, ain't you late Murray, eh? What a cracker.
You see boys, just going over the snag there now.
Yep.
Look under this as a fish. There's going to be probably a decent black bass just sitting under that. He was just moving around. He's just sitting under there waiting for our lures to go past. This has been a really prosperous spot over the last few days, and you can tell why with snags like this just sitting 10-15 metres off the bank. How good's this technology, bud?
It is very good.
Hopefully one day this stuff's going to be over here permanently for you boys to use in the boat. And the amount of stuff that you can see on this that isn't traditional sonar,
That's right.
it just blows your mind.
It is very good. We could see all the fish and the snags, and the fish under the snags and above the snags everywhere.
That snag there that comes
Very
right out, look at
helpful.
that. It's a snag there that all them lures, there's probably 2 or 3 of our lures that have been taken with bass under that. That's that one that comes right out over there across that. Look how far he comes out. Comes right up to like 3 metres. Without this sort of stuff, you don't get to see that sort of images on traditional sonar. It'll just show that the log's there, but now we can see all these different angles.
Yep.
Let's turn this pole around here a little bit more. We can just see all the ins and outs of that snag. There it is there, see? Look at that big long snag coming out.
Yep.
You can never see that on traditional sonar, apart from just that one big lump coming up.
No. Yep.
It's pretty tame here at the moment. There's not much fish action around, but if there were big fish sitting in that snag, you're going to see it.
Smoko time. Up on the Kyme River. It's our last day today. Had an epic session this morning. We were hoping it was going to come together, and it kind of did. We've all hooked up to some monster fish, lost some lures, lost some fish, as you do all trip. It's borderline heartbreak, and it's then next minute we're rejoicing. These black bass are just, oh man, they're just a species unto their own. They're just crazy. They're just a bloody. No word to describe them really. The power of them, and they're so unpredictable. Even sometimes just before you get them to the net, it's like they say, it's not over to the fat lady sings. Mate, they're not over till they're in the net. The sheer power of them, even after an epic couple of minute fight, just before you can get to the net, they can just dive their head and it's all on again, and it's just ridiculous. But probably so far, that's our last day today, as I said, probably so far we've probably boated over about 80 bass, heaps of barra, and Dave's the catfish king, he's caught a few catfish, but the 130 tango shads, they've been a massive saviour this trip. As we said it after, we can't wait to get over here and tussle with the big boys, and they certainly lived up to all the hype and the expectations we sort of gave it. I think purely and simply without this trip, we wouldn't have caught half that, or 3/4 of them fish. They've all come on these lures, and they just get down. We're trolling in between 4 and 5 knots. We have been with about 10 to 15 metres of line out the back. We've
because we've been doing a lot of snag trolling, we've just really been trying to lessen the length between us and the fish, because once they grab you, it's just, you know, there's a couple of hookups there you'll see, it's just bloody pandemonium, it's just crazy. What we've been using is the Venom, the 6 foot black bass, the 40 to 60 pound, they're one piece. No need to introduce Venom, it's a household name, but these rods, they've got some absolute arse about them. They've had to pull some of these fish out of these snags, lifted them up off the bottom. You get them big 80 centimetre plus fish, we've caught a couple this trip now, and they're like a sheet of corrugated iron, especially when they're 3 or 4 metres down. And on top of that, you're probably wrapped around a limb somewhere, so you've got to try and pull them through that. Once they get out of that and they seem to swim to the bottom, they're just like a sheet of corrugated iron. They just won't come up. That Temi colour's been one of the hottest performers. It's a must-have lure if you're going to come to Lake Murray. And trust me, if you're going to bring one, bring 10 of them, because we've lost about 5 already, and we've only got about 2 or 3 left. We've only got about 6 hours to go on the last day, so we're hopeful. This colour here, we weren't really, to be honest. There's not much sex appeal about it, even though it looks like a bait fish. There's not much, like if you just looked at that lure, you'd say, oh yeah, it looks sweet, but doesn't really grab you. But the guides here suggested that we put that on because it looks like snakehead, and the bass over here, they've just been, even off the surface, we've noticed they've just been bashing up the snakehead every morning and afternoon. So, you know, when in Rome, we listen to the experts, and yeah, I hooked an 88 centimetre just a couple of hours ago, which is equal the world record. So, got him on this, got a few others on, a few smaller ones too. So, yeah, you just sometimes they don't have to look pretty, but yeah, it's doing the damage. And the old chartreuse, this has pretty much been relegated to Matt's rod the whole trip. He's done some damage on that. He got an 87 centimetre on this the other day, and it played up and gave him some absolute curry in the timber as well. And yeah, as you can see there, we had 2 of these. We lost one the other day to a big fish, and this is only new out of the packet. It has been for a couple of hours. As you can see, doesn't take long to get some love bites. You know, yeah, that's the chartreuse colour. As we said before, one of the hardest things we've had to deal with this trip has been the rain. It's so unpredictable. I mean, we're in the middle of the jungle, and you know, on our first night we probably got 150, 200 mil of rain up the top. And the Kyme River being a flood river, it doesn't start in the mountains, it's just from the floodplains, and it gathers all the little tributaries on the way down. And unfortunately for the last 4 or 5 days, the river's been like chocolate milk. Has started to come good, but we half of our trip has just been really relying on the sounder and the knowledge of the guides. We have to be right on the snags, as you've seen. We're going to see in some of the videos we've been trolling over them, letting the lure hit the snag, and then clicking it back into gear and just crash diving them on the face of that snag. As soon as they're doing that, these bass are just they're just whacking them. It's just crazy. But without the expertise of the guides that we've been lucky to have, and them tango shads, we wouldn't be getting down to that 5.5, 6 metres deep, because there's been a lot of lures we've trolled on this trip that have been 5 and 6 metre lures that we've trolled out the back that are only going 4.5 metres deep, and it just hasn't been able to hit that sweet spot.